Well, okay, the usual. Dear Luangpor, I find it relatively easy to rest in awareness and to access the sound of silence in meditation and pockets of space throughout the day. However, I find it hard to bring this peace into the daily interactions of situations that require decisions, where emotions arise through interactions with others. How do I bridge this gap? Well, welcome to all of us. So we're all faced with that dilemma. And I think if you put a more positive spin on it and say that the complexity of life when it triggers kilesa and defilements does have a kind of opportunity in it. And the opportunity, you might say, is purification. When, say, for example, my continual example of giving public talks. Now, that interaction produced fear. So I could say to myself, well, if I just stayed in my kuti and did walking meditation and sitting and walking and sitting, I wonder if I would have worked out that fear. I wonder if I would have just been actually afraid to go out. I might have ended up some kind of weird hermit. Maybe not. But as it turned out, Luangpor Sumedho pushed me. And then that interaction was confusing. It produced emotional material. But I did have a chance to go back to my kuti and contemplate that. But the result was that the social situation pressed the buttons of fear. And so fear came up. And fear, we have this word anusaya, a latent tendency. It was there. It had the potential to come up. I wasn't free. Just because I'm in my kuti, I'm not feeling fear. That doesn't mean I'm afraid. I was more, so anyway, so the thing gets triggered off. And then is that, again, as I was saying, is that a bad thing? It is a bad thing if I can't be aware of it. It is a bad thing if it gets worse and I get overwhelmed by it and I get burnt out by it. So that's one of the criteria for looking at lifestyle, livelihood, is do these interactions that kind of disturb your peace of your mind, are they overwhelming? Do they get worse? Or in your awareness of them, do you develop more barami of patience, a stronger awareness, more wisdom, more insight? Then actually they are strengthening, because we do need adversity. If we don't have some friction, if we don't have some adversity, I don't think we get any strength. So these things can. Having said that, they can also be overwhelming. You can also have so much adversity that you have a nervous breakdown or you burn out. So it's not like all or nothing. So to this person's question, and to all of us have the same question, I would say the most productive thing of having enough mindfulness in your daily life to actually process the kilesa and begin to see their cessation is a strong morning practice. Oh, first of all, a good sila, at least, right? And some heartfelt activity of generosity in your life. That's very important. If you don't have avenues of expression, of joyous expression of giving, you can really dry up in this. Like Luangpor Sumedho says, it's like brain surgery without anesthesia. It was always looking in your mind. So some kind of outward expression and relating with love and philanthropy and giving, combined with sila, I think is very, very important. But then having said that, then I think morning practice, really like a serious hour, not just like the joke I tell is like you come away from the retreat, you make an adhitthana. Every morning I'm going to do 2 hours. In the evening I'm going to do 1 hour. I'm just going to really go for it. So you do that for a day. And you think, that was a bit much. So the next day, 45 minutes in the morning, Netflix in the evening. Day 4, you almost get up, but you said maybe tomorrow. Day 5, you wave to the Buddha and go to work. That's it for your adhitthana. So that's not a serious practice. So can you develop, and many of you do, I know that. I think the chunk in the morning before the world gets up can be very fruitful. You really set up, you see what your mind has been doing in the day before, the moods of the mind, which they might be worrying or might be resentful. Oh, okay, that's what consciousness is doing now. It's moving towards these negative states. The ego is being created through worry or through whatever it might be. So you kind of warned yourself, right? You kind of ready, okay. And you don't believe in it. You see, okay, that's what my mind wants to do, but you do your meditation and you put it down. You really do put it down. And then and you probably, most of us have some kind of theme that we're working on. I find I am. It might be in relationship to others, it might be around right speech. Oh, it might be you trying to develop some parami. That's quite good. You're kind of bringing in a bit of a program into your inner life as you live your outer life. So it might be just being more patient at a committee meeting, or not being so sharp with your language, something. And you make kind of determinations to do that. So then your day tends to be more mindful, right? Evening practice is more difficult, admittedly. You're just so like if you really had a full-on job with lots of responsibilities, you just want to veg out. Everyone knows what veg out means? Netflix. You just want to sit in front and just, oh. So, I understand that. That's why retreats are very, very good. I would say also, like, ways of developing body awareness, either yoga, tai chi, qigong, working out, jogging, playing badminton, anything really, to get more embodied, because so much of our work is like in front of computers, and it's in thought, it's in ideation, it's in analysis, it's in looking at a computer screen so much. So if you're doing like really physical things, like taking a swim in Pike Lake in November, uh, what was the temperature of the water? I forget. Well, one of our monks is doing what's called Wim Hof. It's a kind of breathing technique to develop inner heat. It's based on the practices of Tummo in Tibetan Buddhism. Practices of Tummo are developing psychic heat from inside. And there's a kind of breathing technique in cold showers. So one of our monks is doing this adhitthana every day. He'd go swimming in the lake. It's fine when it's August, but in November, it was serious cold. So Yom Vibun joined him one afternoon. I didn't. I like hot showers. But for this monk, and he's doing it, he's getting a lot of vitality and getting in touch with his breathing. So he's got more awareness of the body. That's a kind of extreme thing, but Tai Chi or Qigong or yoga or anything like that, where you really are more embodied, I think it's very good in our modern culture. Not just to stay in shape. That's okay. There's more than that. It's that you spend some time with your body rather than just with your head. Hi, body, how are you doing? And if you can, I would say also, like I noticed some people have pain and do yoga postures, like open up the thighs, and really develop some good postures that way. And then you have to think about right livelihood, the job you have, right? The family you have. There's not much you can do about that. But if you have a chance, and like if you ever get a chance to change your job, oftentimes you don't, you try to create a situation where there's more awareness, more space, and less toxic environment if you're in a toxic environment. Those are very personal things. But I think a major thing is a good strong practice in the morning, and then retreats. Yeah. But it's everyone's question. Everyone's question is the same that way.